Are you ready to grind? It's Sports 56 Grind Time with Peter Edmiston and Anthony Sain. Now, here's Peter and Anthony.
Man, what a day. Already getting wild. We got breaking news. We very rarely get NFL news of this magnitude breaking on the show, but guess what? We got it. We got it today. We're going to talk about a huge trade involving one of the biggest stars in the league. We'll discuss it here momentarily. In the Family Leisure Studios, Peter Edmiston, Anthony Sain with you. Darian Newsom producing the program. It's Grind Time. How you?
Man, I'm good, brother. Good to be.
You look concerned. What are you concerned about?
Doesn't sound. Oh, that's why it doesn't sound right.
Yeah, you got the.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
I was in the wrong hole. Hey, it happens sometimes.
Got to turn that knob.
Yeah, you got to turn that knob. Sometimes you go in the wrong hole and you wonder what happened. You have a puzzled look on your face. That's
careful.
All right.
Big NFL news we're going to get to coming up involving multiple quarterbacks, as a matter of fact. We'll discuss that. Big night for the Grizzlies in the Anthony Sain rivalry game.
So much on the line tonight.
Team struggling a little bit, looking like might need a little boost, might need a little something. A special night. We'll see if that's the case.
Oh, if y'all lose this one, you dastardly.
We will talk about the hurt and pain suffered Russell Westbrook, if you call him Russell Westbrick, and what that means to his family. And
I've got some Grizzlies breaking news too.
Grizzlies breaking news.
Woo!
From Anthony
From
Sain.
the streets. The streets have been talking. Ooh. Man, the streets been talking to me.
The streets are talking. We've got breaking news from a toe standpoint. Podiatric breaking news, as a matter of fact, for one of the most famous head coaches in college football, who is perhaps not as toeful as he was earlier in this year.
Yep.
We'll discuss that coming up. So all of that on the very busy edition of Grind Time. And as if that weren't enough, we've got CJ Hurt coming your way in our next segment. We're going to talk to CJ about the Grizzlies Pelicans. We'll talk a little college basketball with him too coming up. And then a lot of college hoops, 2 o'clock with our pal Steven Johnson from the Daily Memphian, who's going to talk Tigers and Tigers in the AAC tournament, Tigers in the NCAA tournament. Tigers, Memphis. It's all there for you. So if you want to be part of the show, we encourage that. You can hit us up on the AutoZone listener line. Get in the zone. Thank you. 360-8255, 901-360-8255. For Darian's clientele, the elderly, if you pick up that big phone with just the big old numbers. What do they call that thing? The shutterbug?
And I was trying
the jitterbug? Was that thing the jitterbug? If you see that cell phone that's for old people, it's just big numbers, and that's all. So you just hit the 9 and the O and the 1.
The Braille joint.
360 and then 8255. And let Darian probably help.
Darian got them ladies calling in on
Dr. Z.
your rotary phone. It'll take a good 30 seconds just to get the call through.
Ladies, take your time. Dial the number right. We are here.
Take that phone with the cup there, and he's like, operator, connect me to
Flynn
Grind Time show, please. All right.
WHBQ rock and roll station, please.
WHB, woo! 56.
Oh, man. Hey, Dr. Zeke and our great producer extraordinaire, Jay Morgan Harder, agrees with me about Mrs. K.
No, they don't.
Who is that? I was talking to somebody here about what was the transition like. Just hypothetical, what was the transition like? Because this was like a famous rock station, like where Elvis was and all those type of things. Like I wonder, like, what was the kickback when they first we're going to start doing sports now? Like I know people just
we didn't go from Elvis to sports.
Right, I know. I'm just saying. I'm sure at some point it was some type of transition that was like, all right.
Yeah, you have to hit the archives and talk to Doc, see if you can get your hands on some of the old archives back in the day. And
get some of that snail mail that came in.
And there you go. ACC tournament. Men's basketball tournament is underway right now up in Brooklyn, which is, of course, when you think Atlantic Coast Conference and you think the ACC, you definitely think Brooklyn. I know it's stupid. It's conference tournaments. That thing should be in Greensboro. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah. But they've got the big old honkin' tournament because they got so many teams. It starts today. Boston College is up early on Pitt 9-4-3. We've got the 2 more games coming up later on as well in the tournament. NC State, Clemson, Georgia Tech, Louisville. Got a bunch of college basketball tonight, including the number 1 team, Gonzaga, going for another West Coast Conference championship against St. Mary's and Chet Holmgren. Got also, if we have time for it, we'll see if we can squeeze it in, the GM survey that ESPN did about the best, who's the point guard that you want to lead your team.
Spoiler alert.
And it is not Ja Morant. It is Luka Doncic who won. But Ja was close. Ja was close.
Why are we calling Luka a point guard, man?
Because he is.
At no point in LeBron James' career we called him a point guard.
That's because he
do
shied away from that, though.
But it's only because he came in the league in 2003. If he'd come in the league in 2015, he'd be called point guard.
But he didn't like it either, though.
What?
LeBron wasn't trying to get called a point guard. He was a small forward the whole time.
Hey, LeBron didn't.
He shied away from it.
Luka's a wing, man. And that whole debate messed up the All-Star game, too. Because if they had just made Luka big, he would have been.
Yeah, he's a PG, though.
They'd have made him a front court player, he would have been in the All-Star game.
What is Penny? What is Penny?
He's a guard.
A point guard, right? So is Luka.
He's a point guard. I mean, you could have multiple point guards, but he's a point guard. Because he can orchestrate. I mean, if you
messed up the All-Star
whatever
game.
you define,
They
define,
said Luka was a wing, or they said he was a forward.
whatever you define a point guard as is what he is. So you start offense, you run the offense, you can pass the ball, you can distribute all those things. He's a point guard.
Luka's just a big cold ass dude who got the ball in his hands.
That's
I don't
right.
really call that my point guard. I don't know.
I don't know what.
Get off my lawn with this stupid stuff.
I don't know. It was
Karl
Magic
Malone,
Johnson. Was
they can
Magic
dribble.
Johnson
Yeah.
a point guard? I mean, Magic Johnson was a
But he was drafted as a point guard though.
yeah, but he
Luka's
played
just-
center. But Magic played center in the
yeah.
NBA Finals.
I don't know.
I mean, like, you just
Whatever.
positionless basketball.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get to the big breaking news
Get to it.
today.
Hold on. Y'all hear that? My hands rubbing again. Let's get into this.
Is that our breaking news sounders?
There it is.
This is
Epic.
This sounds so generic. Okay.
It's some free,
This sounds-
non-licensable music.
Yeah, this sounds
There
like
you
public domain.
I was ready. No, see,
Some iMovie built-in tracks. There you go.
Like a 5-year-olds would use in there.
I created that.
Final Cut 1 built-in tracks. There you go.
It is in we're learning about this literally as we speak. But the Seattle Seahawks have traded legendary quarterback Russell Wilson to the Denver Broncos in exchange for a, quote, and Anthony's saying you're going to like this, a significant package.
Uh-oh.
So
Like a bubble butt.
a significant package
Yeah.
is heading to, and part of that significant package, Drew Lock. I
Uh-oh.
hope that package is more significant
Yeah.
than that. That is perhaps not indicative of the significance of the package.
Hopefully, they get Patrick Surtain out of that.
I don't know.
Hopefully.
We'll see.
Hopefully.
I think if he was involved, we
Man,
would already know that.
Yeah.
It's quite something. It's quite something now to think about how incredibly wild the AFC West is going to be. Look at the quarterback situation in the AFC West. Look at the
Real deal.
I mean, AFC in general is just laden with quarterbacks. This was apparently in the works for quite some time. They finally got it done. It is so rare that you see a trade like this. And apparently the trade is pending Russell Wilson's approval, which I feel like that should be – you should have had that before we get to this point where it's being discussed. I assume that means it's probably there. I mean, you think about what that means for Seattle. You know, this is one of those things where they've kind of said, "Look, we've gone as far as we can go, and we gotta just kind of take a step back and look at where we're going to go. We can't afford to pay. We can't keep doing this. We've got to restructure our roster and kind of start. And if you're ever going to trade him, I mean, now's the time to trade him. His value is probably never going to be higher. He's talked about the stuff that he wants to see. There's been a little bit of friction with him in
over the years
in Seattle.
a lot of double talk,
and you see kind of what he's all about and the way he can play. He's such a gifted quarterback, and at the age of 33, now is the time for him to if he was going to start to fade, this is probably when you would start to see some of that fading. So from the Seahawks perspective, this is the high water mark of when you're going to be able to trade him. You wait till next year, or you wait till a different time or different contract situation. All of a sudden, maybe the value isn't quite there.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a huge one. It's a huge one. And now you look at the AFC and how many great quarterbacks there are in the AFC. Oh,
yeah,
mama.
just adding one of the better ones. For
Mama,
sure.
it's just
it's gonna be the real deal. Like you said, the AFC West is gonna be super loaded, particularly. I'm looking at the particulars of what have came out so far from Adam Schefter. He says that the trade is pending a physical and Wilson's approval.
Right.
The question is that Russell Wilson or Sierra Wilson?
Who you in your bag? Okay, all right.
Yeah, girl, go to sleep. Go to sleep, yo.
Yeah, it's gonna be a mile high ride, baby.
Go head to Denver.
The NFL's version of Doug Christie.
I'm a Bronco, baby. I'm a stallion. Let's go.
Go ahead and roll up that doobie, girl. It's gonna be a mile high. Imagine Russell Wilson firing up a blunt in Denver, man.
No, he's still scared of Future. He's not firing up anything.
Nah,
he's still scared.
He
of
might
Future.
think if he smokes weed, he might like turn in the future.
Yeah, he may turn in the Future. Yeah.
Yeah. I like it though. I like the aggressiveness of.
I mean,
the Broncos.
again, it just depends on what this significant package looks like. We still, to my knowledge at least, we still haven't seen.
But Peter, the bar has been set, man. FD picks is a thing, like for real. So.
Well, I mean, again, for the longest time in the NFL, you really just didn't see very many picks traded at all.
You didn't see many trades. You don't see many trades in the NFL.
No,
period,
you don't
especially
see
stars.
significant trades like this. But you really didn't see trades involving picks because the NFL picks have been so valued. Second round picks, third round picks, they're valued super high. First round picks are like, gold, or at least they have been. Until recently, you've seen teams start to kind of loosen their grip on them, which is interesting. And I think it's probably not a bad idea at this point. Man, how do you feel about? Man, if you're like a guy like Derek Carr's not a bad quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
But Derek Carr's got to play Russell Wilson,
Patrick
Mahomes, and Justin Herbert.
Yep.
6 of his 17 games are against those guys. Think about that. In the AFC, think about the AFC just top to bottom. Think about where these guys rank in terms of, you throw Josh Allen in the mix. Where's Josh Allen in the mix? Where's Lamar Jackson? Where's Joe Burrow, who's had a spectacular season? Where are these guys? The AFC is just flat out loaded.
Yeah.
And with the NFC, you see Tom Brady's retirement adding to that.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know.
We don't know where Garoppolo is going to be.
Aaron Rodgers may. It looks more and more likely that he's going to stay with Green Bay with a major offer. So that's huge, but you could still look at the depth overall, and you could see just in terms of what we've seen in the AFC, man, the quarterbacking is it is so
it's dead serious,
intense. It is so wild, and I don't know, man. Throw Russell Wilson into the mix, and Broncos. It's been a while since the Broncos were really relevant too.
Especially at that
since
position.
Since Peyton Manning's been gone, it really has just been they've been. In the weeds, wandering around. The Paxton Lynches.
Yeah,
of the
just
world,
about to say, including Paxton
Brock
Lynch,
Osweiler, and all these other dudes, and it's been rough. So finally, they have somebody who is absolutely 100% relevant, absolutely phenomenal.
And that's why I don't mind the trade, man. Like I understand the value of picks and everything, but if you got a quarterback, man, we've seen in this year in the playoffs, if you got a guy who's that dude, he can take you far. He can take you. You know what I mean? So.
Without a doubt. I mean, you have to. The reliance now on passing game in the NFL is just. We've talked about it's vital. And not only that, but increasingly you see more and more collegiate type looks where you have run pass options. You have stuff that we thought was kind of college but not pro. Those concepts are now going into the pros more and more. Quarterback. It's always been the most important position in football and one of the most important positions in all of sports. Period. And even more so now, you have no chance unless you have a elite quarterback. You have no chance, and so Denver, they go out and they find themselves an elite quarterback, and it's going to cost them a pretty penny. I have to imagine there's several firsts and some we'll see if how big the players get if it's a certain something like that. But it's for Bronco fans, I'm sure they're rejoicing because it's been so long since they've been relevant. I mean, I can speak as a Washington fan, and it's been forever since we've had a quarterback that was, remotely worth watching. Watching freaking Taylor Heineke throw it around. I mean, my God, what I wouldn't give to be relevant. So at least for the Broncos, that's a great franchise with great fans. At least now they're relevant. I don't know what they're going to have to give up, but the Rams showed you this year. You know what? If you push all those chips in and you got the right mix and you got the right situation, then hey, it works.
You mentioned the Commanders, the Cobra Commanders of Washington. What do you think their next move is? They were a team that kind of was rumored to be
hopefully in trash. All right, so by the way, here's the package before we get.
All right, breaking news.
Schefter's got the package fully outlined here. Seattle gets Drew Lock, as we mentioned. Noah Fant. That's pretty good. Shelby Harris. 2 first-rounders, 2 second-rounders, and a 5th-round pick. 2 first, 2 seconds, a 5th, Fant, Lock, and Harris. Denver gets Russell Wilson and a 4th-round pick. So that is a significant package for sure. I mean, that's multiple firsts, multiple seconds, good players, and but you're going to get a Hall of Famer.
Seattle may as well go all the way in. They may as well get rid of Bobby Wagner as well.
I would suspect.
Just go all the way in.
That looks like the kind of package you get when you're rebuilding. That's those first, those seconds.
They may as well.
I think, the question is just going to be: is Pete Carroll? This doesn't seem like if I'm Pete Carroll, I probably might not want to stick around for this. I might be done, or find another gig or something like that. Because maybe go back to college. I don't know what Pete Carroll wants to do at this point. But I can't imagine that he wants to be there for that. They built that thing up. Does he want to stick around for another 2 or 3 years and try to do it again? I don't think so. Good stuff. We'll talk more NFL later on. If you find out more information on this too. When we come back, we'll talk to CJ Hurt, who joins us to talk a little bit about the Grizzlies tonight in action, taking on the Pelicans, a very important game for the Grizzlies as they try to hang on and get some momentum back after kind of faltering a little bit since the beginning of the post All-Star break period. They're taking on the hottest team in the NBA right now, the best team after the All-Star break, team that's been cooking big time. So really tough opponent anyway, and especially now because the Pelicans are playing excellent basketball. So going to be a tough one tonight. We'll talk about that. We're going to talk some college hoops. So we got a whole lot more on the agenda as we continue here from the Family Leisure Studios on Grindtime, Real Sports Talk, Sports 56.98.5.
You have opinions?
What do you hear? What do you say?
We want to hear them. Call or text us on the AutoZone listener line at 360-8255. That's the AutoZone listener line at 901-360-8255.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
If you have damage to your home and have your insurance carrier involved, you need a great contractor. You also need a team that has seen claims of all shapes and sizes, residential or commercial. After our inspection, we'll share our findings and give you our professional opinion. Some people say you get what you pay for. However, our opinion is free. Trust the name you can depend on, like the tens of thousands of families Brian and I have served over the past 20 years here in the Mid-South. Brian Elder Roofing. We'll measure your roof from outer space and share our team's experience for your property and claim. Repaired roofs, replacement roofs, big roofs, tiny roofs, insurance roofs, flat roofs, TPO roofs, asphalt roofs, tile roofs, slate roofs, metal roofs. If your roof needs some love, call me. 901-867-0303 for Brian Elder Roofing and Contracting.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings & Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings & Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings & Grill.
You could save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, but when we just come out and say it, it feels like it falls a bit flat. So instead, we're going to have someone else say it. Because for some reason, when a random person talks about how great something is in a commercial, it's more believable.
I saved with a Progressive home and auto bundle.
And there you have it. I mean, I'm not sure why she's more believable than me, but either way, you get the point about the saving. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discount not available in all states or situations.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, Orco hard coolers, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Now, back to Sports 56 Grind Time. Here once again are Peter Edmiston and Anthony Sain.
Transferred over to the movie, and I think this Batman is really, really smart. Every Batman does it a little bit different. It's the same Bruce Wayne character, but it's a little bit different. And with this Batman, it really focuses on the story, the detective work that Batman has to do.
Were you coming in with a CJ quote once CJ's here? Like, I mean,
Come on, man. There you go.
I walked in super confused. Okay, what am I walking into?
That was CJ talking about Batman.
Hey.
He was giving y'all a little Batman.
I wanted to ask
insight.
him about that.
I thought so because you were talking about Batman
I don't know how
yesterday.
much time we got, so I ain't going to go there. But I know
There you
CJ
go.
can go there with me, so I'm going to leave it
There
alone.
you go. People recall we were talking about the Batman yesterday, and I caught a clip of my man CJ talking about Batman.
I walked in thinking, okay, I think I'm a little late. That's what I said. I'm
Oh,
late,
no.
late.
No,
CJ halfway in the interview.
No, I was showing CJ some love. That's
Yeah, check it out.
well, we got CJ to talk. We'll talk.
Is he on the phone, though? All right.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right,
I'm
man.
on the phone.
We'll just talk to him now.
That's the last intro I'll ever give you, man. That intro just threw them off.
Who asked you to be creative? Who asked you to do that?
Hey, D, you gotta warn us because I was confused.
Yeah.
I was like, yo.
I thought I was walking in super late. I was like, good God, we halfway through the
I don't know
interview.
what was happening. This is very strange
Just warn
situation.
us next time, baby.
I was on that Twitter, man. I was on that Twitter space.
Very strange situation.
Wait,
but
you
hey,
recorded off a Twitter space?
it worked out. It worked out.
It was on his Twitter. Yeah.
Oh, I ain't mad at you going in depth and doing some research, man.
Oh, I'm mad. I'm mad.
I'm furious.
I'm angry.
I'm not mad. I'm furious.
CJ Hurt joins us, Grind City Media at Conradicalness on that Twitter that Darian was referring to. CJ,
Yo,
how are you, man?
I'm all right. How's everybody doing?
I think
Good,
everybody's everybody's good. Happy International Women's Day to everybody out there.
Yeah, I don't know why you're telling me, but yeah, absolutely.
Happy birthday.
Was your mother not a woman?
Was your
My
wife?
mama?
Was
your wife a woman?
Yeah, well, your wife's a big fan of the
angel.
show. We talk, your wife's a big fan of the show, so we like to shout her out with the International Women's Day. So
Oh, y'all get on my damn nerves. Whatever.
Shout out to CJ's wife.
shout out to CJ's wife.
On
Yeah.
today.
Hey, if I'm gonna keep coming on this damn show, I'm not gonna keep shouting out my wife, dog. Y'all gonna have to come see me, or I'm gonna have to come see y'all. Y'all keep shouting out my wife like that.
I'm sorry. I couldn't okay, I couldn't resist. I'm sorry. Okay.
Shout out CJ's
yeah,
wife.
that's
Y'all
right.
stop it.
Special shout out to all the
Courtney,
women out there,
that's right,
especially
that's
CJ's
right.
wife.
That's exactly right. Special shout out to all the ladies out there.
It's crazy how
All the ladies
CJ gets
make
on the
noise.
line. We want to give shout outs to women.
This
Man.
reminds me of Ravishing Rick Rude and Jake the Snake with his wife and all that. It was a very, very emotional time right there.
All the ladies in the house make noise, especially CJ's wife.
That's exactly right. That's right. All the ladies in the place with style
Style
and
and grace.
Allow me to. Anyway, all right. So
if you don't know, now you know.
CJ Hurt. Since Darian brought you in on that, a brief topic, if you will. I know your love of comic films is legendary. And so before we talk about the Grizzlies and a big one tonight, have you seen The Batman? How do you feel about The Batman versus Batman Returns versus Batman Forever versus Batman and Robin versus Batman
versus
Beyond
Superman
versus Batman Begins versus Batman Continues versus Batman
Continues.
Lego Batman 2. Where does it rank?
I mean, it's a great movie, and it's a great depiction of Bruce Wayne and Batman, right? Where some of these movies, Lego Batman, what's the Batman with the nipples on the suit? Is that Batman Forever?
That's
Batman Returns, whatever that.
Forever, I think, or Batman and Robin. I think it's Batman and Robin. I believe.
Batman and Robin.
Joel
where
Schumacher,
some of those focus on kind of the funnier, more goofy elements of the character. Like this one is super serious, akin to Dark Knight and akin to the first Batman movie with Jack Nicholson in it as the Joker. And this one really focuses in on, hey, is he smart enough to solve the crime? You're not going to be distracted by cool gadgets like you are in the Dark Knight trilogy, right? Like Lucius Fox in that Dark Knight trilogy is a very important character, one of the best characters.
Yep.
Yeah, like you needed him there because you needed to see all the cool gadgets and toys Bruce Wayne was able to get for his Batman. And this Batman, they're not quite there yet. So yes, there's a couple of cool gadgets, but that's not the focus. Like the Batmobile, this Batmobile is just like a regular ass car.
Man driving a Challenger.
So yeah, with the sticker tag still on, you know what I'm saying? So
Infinity, man driving Infinity with drive-out tags in the joint.
Yep. So that isn't as big a part of it. There are fight scenes and that's in there, but it's not leaning on the fight scenes. It's not leaning on special effects or explosions. What the movie is leaning on is, hey, here's the crime. Here are the clues. Can you, if you want to, solve the crime with Batman? And it takes you into there. It's really, really angsty. This Batman definitely listens to Good Charlotte on his way to work or whatever, right? I think it's real subtle also, and that helps tell the story and lets you sit in a lot of uncomfortable moments and try and figure out your emotions, what's right, what's wrong, what's good, what's bad, what's the difference between Batman and the villains and the monsters that he's trying to stop. I think it's a really good movie all in all.
All right, so I hope to see it someday. With me, it's usually about a 3 to 4 month layoff before I get to see movies, so it'll be. I look forward to seeing it.
Hey, turn the brightness up on your TV when you see it because it is a darker visually.
It's the Dark Knight.
Dark, like you can't see nothing.
That's what they call it, Dark Knight, man. That's why he's dark. You don't call him, light bright. It's Dark Knight. Come on, man. What are we doing? What are we doing out here?
CJ, real controversial take before we move off of this. And just give me a quick yes or no. We'll move on. Now you know with Batman, you gotta break him down in at least 2 or 3 parts. You got Bruce Wayne. You got Bruce Wayne around people who knows he's Batman. Bruce Wayne around strangers.
This doesn't sound like it's real quick.
And then Bruce Wayne in the suit is Batman, right?
Right.
Old boy was the best Batman in the suit, bro. I don't care what nobody say.
Okay.
All right. We good then. That's it then.
Thank you for making it quick, CJ.
Yeah,
Appreciate it,
old boy.
Wait, hold up. Now
I ain't gonna say he's the best overall.
He's saying that.
He's not the best overall Batman.
in the suit.
He's the best Batman in the suit.
Still, Michael Keaton is still up there for me.
He up there for sure.
I think that's the best Batman in the suit. I'm gonna go say that, but that's not to take away from Pattinson's performance. I could talk Batman for an hour and a half, but y'all don't want to, which is, I guess it's fine. Grizzlies are playing or whatever. But I'll end it on this. Pattinson's performance is really, really good. If you have any trepidation about seeing this movie because you're like, yo, this is the dude from Twilight.
Yeah.
I'm not going to believe he's Batman. You are absolutely going to believe he is Batman and Bruce Wayne when it's all said and done. I think this role is big enough, and he does such a good job portraying it. It's large enough for people to let that Twilight stuff go.
Well, there you go. See, that's nice. Appreciate that. All right, so let's talk about the Grizzlies. Big one tonight against the Pelicans. And CJ, the Grizzlies, if I look up, they're 3-4 in their last 7. They got kind of one of the worst performances of the year against Houston. They look. I'm not gonna say they don't look bad. They're not like terrible or anything. I mean, they've beat the Bulls. They've They've done okay, but something doesn't quite look right. Can you put your finger on what's Is this just a young team kind of coming back to earth a little bit after a spectacular run? Is there something else involved here?
I think it's growing pains. I think it is a bit of like going from that hunter to hunted mentality and saying, okay, we are really, really good, so let's kind of just bop about and play with the game. And you can't play with the game. You have to go out there, foot on the gas, start to finish, and play your absolute best basketball if you plan on winning games, even if it's against a team like Houston or Oklahoma City or Orlando or anybody like that, right? The Grizzlies are a good team. The Grizzlies have top 3 record in the NBA. They are vying for that number 2 seed for a reason. They are really, really good. But if you're going to play around, you're going to end up losing some of these games that you got no business losing. And I think that some of it is newfound, I won't say stardom, but newfound respect coming from various people. And I feel like the Grizzlies and how they perform, they don't have that edge all the time, and they need that edge all the time. Like, if you're going to be great, you have to find a way to keep that edge about you, even when everybody is acknowledging the fact that you're good. And I feel like this Grizzlies team, one of the things they've done real well this year is bounce back pretty impressively and convincingly following a bad loss. And I think this team will continue to do that tonight at home.
Do you think any of this, what you were saying with them being 3-4 in the last 7, is with the way that Ja's been having these crazy games the last few weeks, averaging 40-something points a game over a certain stretch of the season? Do you think it's a little bit of guys just kind of Ja watching? Like they've kind of forgotten how to fill in their roles because Ja has almost doubled his production over the last few weeks. Do you think some of that is going into play over the last few games?
I think there's an element of that, and I want to trivialize it and make it seem like they're just standing around waiting for Ja to save them. I think this is a team that really likes having one of their own receive the appropriate amount of recognition, right? This is a team that has known what Ja Morant is for a long time and wants to put him in the best of light. And so they're doing, at times, to the detriment of winning basketball and to the detriment of Ja's game. I think they're doing everything they can to put Ja in a position to look like the star that he is. And I would encourage them to, stop that, because you don't have to make Ja look good. Ja's going to give you that on his own. You don't have to force feed the ball or really press on the offensive end of the court. It's going to come to Ja on its own naturally if you just do what you're supposed to do. If the ball is moving, if everybody's hustling 50-50 balls, you getting those like that is going to eventually feed into Ja Morant's game and into his overall production and individual game. So it's Ja watching, yes, but I think it is, more of a, this dude is really, really good. We want to make sure we're giving him as a team every opportunity to showcase how really, really good he is.
When's Dylan Brooks coming back?
Hell, I don't know.
Why don't you ask somebody? You down there?
Right. Y'all share a bathroom.
Yeah, just walk over there.
You think they give me access over there, Peter?
Y'all share a bathroom, man. Come on.
Hey, listen, we're
share a lunchroom together.
We're in a transitional time right now because the reign of Jason Wallace has come to an end in the media relations department. So there's right now a vacuum of power that can be usurped by CJ. If you play your cards right, CJ, you might be able to
move up to the top. Man.
You might be able to move right in there. You know what I mean? Like you got to play. You got to jump in there. Talk to Laura. Talk to Laura. Talk to some folks there and see if you can't slide in right now. Everyone knows that the transition of power. That's when autocracies are at their most weakened point right now. This is an opportunity for you to jump in there and really usurp some of this power. This is your opportunity.
Yeah, but in order to usurp that power, you have to be strong, and I'm not. I'm weak. I'm way at the bottom of the rung.
I don't think that's right.
I'm way,
I don't
Peter.
think that's right.
I'm up here every day, Peter.
No.
People walk by me like they don't know me, dog. Like, that's just how it is, man.
Yeah. That's because you're not friendly. But other than that, I mean, you could change that. It doesn't have to be like that.
I'm friendly.
No, have you seen Dylan up there? Is he hanging out? I mean, what's going on? It seems like this has been a lengthy absence for something that maybe doesn't need to be this lengthy. Anthony Sain has his own theories about that.
I got some news. You got CJ on here sharing the bathroom with Dylan and eating in the same break room with Dylan and don't know when he's coming back. The streets been talking to me, man.
Okay, well, what have the streets been saying?
The streets told me that you'll see Dylan back next week. I had an ear hustler that was listening on the conversation.
How did the streets
find
that out?
Let me see how I can put this in layman's terms for the radio.
Okay, that's interesting. All right.
I had somebody very close to somebody that's in cahoots with Dylan Brooks.
Oh, here we go.
And they were ear hustling.
All right, cahoots. I like.
And this person was,
I like when cahoots gets involved.
This person was kind of close to the action, And off the air, CJ, I'm gonna text you who told me this because it's a mutual friend of ours. So they did a little ear hustling. So not like the CJ sharing a break room with Dylan Brooks ear hustle, but
man, listen,
he'll be back next week.
Room. Dylan will be over there making coffee and stuff. I say, "What's up, dude? Don't even speak to me."
Who are you, man?
Hey, man. Are you new here? Hey, that's cool, man.
What do you do here?
That's awesome.
What do you do here?
Just been over there watching film and.
Are you like a scout or something?
Are you helping me with my hair? I've got some ideas.
Do you work like in the equipment room?
Are you the new hair guy? I got a style I'm looking to maybe do something with it. Just an idea.
I should try and be the new hair guy because that opening is here too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of dudes.
What, Jason was doing the hair
nice
also? I didn't realize Jason was doing the hair.
No. It was a couple people who left. Jason left and then the hair dude left.
Oh man, this
the
is
dude who keeps it nice.
Wow, this is I'm telling you, man, this is extremely intense times right now. This is where the action is.
Yeah.
You got to jump in there and make it happen. Do they need Dylan? From an attitude perspective, do they?
Yes.
They need Dylan.
Yeah, they need Dylan from an attitude and from an overall game perspective also. Yeah, if you're going to go deep in the playoffs, you need that guy on the court, not just for the attitude and the toughness and the confidence that not only he has, but the way the team feeds off of said confidence. But from a game standpoint, Dylan Brooks is a really good perimeter defender. And I think that he's been out for so long, we've kind of forgotten that. And the Grizzlies really struggle getting out there to contest and contain the three-point shot. And so bringing Dylan back gives you a really good perimeter defender to try and shore up that three-point defense and somebody who you can say, hey, your best player, Dylan's got. Donovan Mitchell, Dylan's got. Steph Curry, Dylan's got. Devin Booker, Dylan's got. Like we're just going to throw him at you, and we'll rotate him off every now and then for a break on the bench. But he's got that the whole game. You trust that player and Dylan Brooks to go out there, and I'm not saying stop them or shut them down, but at least contain the opposing team's best player in the playoffs. And if you're going to get deep into the playoffs as the Memphis Grizzlies, you will be playing at least one of, if not two of, those teams I just named in the Jazz, the Warriors, and the Suns.
And then also, I'm one of those guys, CJ, who values Dylan's offense probably more than his defense at this point, with this particular season. But with that being said, Dylan ain't going to sit back and watch Ja. Like we talked about a few minutes ago. Like, that ain't happening. He's going to go out there and get his for sure. So that's what I'm ready to get back. The guy who's going to be that run stopper who, when things aren't going, Dylan just ain't – he ain't going to sit back and just let it happen. And something else I think that just a value with Dylan as well is Dylan is one of those guys where we've seen games this season where we was like, man, did nobody show up with Ja? That ain't happening this year, man. I can't tell you a game where I looked at it like, man, Dylan just didn't bring it today. Now, he might have brought it a little bit too much. Might have been a little overzealous. But I've never seen a Dylan Brooks, he just wasn't trying to compete today. I mean, that's not going to happen going forward once he gets here. So,
yeah, and that goes to the way that he's built and to his mentality going into games and going into practices. And again, if that dude is one thing for your leader and best player to be a never have a day off, but you need somebody else on the team, more of an quote everyman type player, if you will, who's also giving you that type of effort and who is only playing because they give maximum effort all the time, no matter how annoying it is. And as a teammate of that guy, that makes you raise your game. Also, Draymond Green is that for the Warriors, right? Where maximum effort all the time, and they need that. And I think that the Grizzlies, they need that to get far. They need that to get to the Western Conference Championship. They need that to get to the NBA Finals. And I think the Warriors are in a similar spot with Dylan Brooks, where they need that to get deep into the playoffs and potentially to a finals.
Yeah, I think that it's it's going to be interesting to see, when he comes back, what kind of effect he has, because I do think they need him, but they have to up their game even without him. I mean, they've shown they can do that. They have to do that starting tonight. This is a Pelicans team that is playing the best basketball in the NBA right now, by far. Since the All-Star break, they have the best net rating by a mile in the NBA. They've been killing teams, playing great. So it's always a tough battle against the Pelicans anyway. It's going to be even tougher tonight. They've got to step up and do their thing. Last thing, CJ. It is the time of year when we talk March Madness. So, is everything good for Michigan? I mean, I think that maybe the Juwan Howard's violence and his aggression and anger seems to have motivated his players. They things look like they're in pretty good shape. Dare we hope to see Memphis and Michigan early? Is it maybe even an 8-9 or maybe I think they Memphis teams have gone past the first four phase, I think, at this point. But what do you think?
I don't think either one of those teams are going to be an 8 or a 9 seed. I would love to see Michigan and Memphis play for it in a play-in, but that's me. I think most fans of both programs would say, no, don't put us in a play-in. We deserve to just be in it flat out. But when you look at the disappointing season that Michigan has had, losing a couple of games they shouldn't, losing a lot of games they shouldn't have lost, thinking about they were a top 10 team to start the season, and then the fall that they had completely out of the top 25 and really struggling here to try and get in to the tournament. The same thing goes for Memphis as a team that was also top 10 team, people thought, and it could fall completely out. Memphis has been playing better here recently, but, recently is not the season. The season started in November, so you are what your record is by now. So I think both of those teams, while they're both in, I would love to see them be in a play-in, and I hope for their sake that none of these bid thieves start coming through, like a Rutgers doesn't come through and win the Big Ten, or Georgia Tech win the ACC, stuff like that starts taking bids away from people. But I will say that things have been looking up since Juwan slapped the hell out that dude. It's something about that type of energy that players feed off of. Things have been looking up since Penny cursed everybody out, right? Like there's something about that grabs your attention and says, hey, I want to play for this. This is what I'm playing for now. It's not just about me and my future. It's about this. And so hats off to the Tigers for the way they ended the season. The Wolverines still got some work to do. I would love to get a Michigan-Wisconsin matchup in the Big Ten, but the only way to do that is if both teams get to the Big Ten championship game, and I am fine with that, let me tell you.
Maybe that's something that needs to add to the resume when you're, hiring a coach. Like, are you a former player? You know what I mean? Have you cussed out? Are you able to curse out media? Are you able to slap an opposing coach? That should be those type of things have been. We're sitting here watching those things be things that the flip season's over. So
are you going to smack? Are you going to smack?
I bet somebody? You won't. I bet you won't hit her. Push her.
I think that's right. CJ.
Okay.
Thank you, CJ. Go get that. Go grab that brass ring, man. It's right there. There's a power vacuum. Go get it. But next time we talk to you, I want you to be, an executive vice president or something.
Peter, check this out. If I become executive vice president, I'm not going to talk to y'all no more.
Hey, I wouldn't blame you, bro.
But your lovely wife will be excited about that, and I think that's the most important thing.
Kiss all of my ass. Bye.
He hung up.
The phone up.
Got him to hang up.
Oh, man. First time ever.
That's right. We'll come back. Hour number 1 continues. You want to talk a little bit about the feelings, the feelings segment. One specific gentleman in particular in his feelings. We'll talk about that when we come back. Also, coming up hour number 2, we'll talk to Steven Johnson about the Tigers. Plenty more to get to here as we continue on Grindtime, Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Spring is around the corner. That means the sounds of air conditioners cranking up will be in the air soon. Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. This month only, receive $1,000 off the purchase of a new Carrier AC unit. No gimmicks, just $1,000 off for the Choates Early Bird Carrier AC Special. If your AC is in good shape, call us to get your $60 20-point AC tune-up to get your AC cleaned and ready for the warm seasons ahead. Choates is here for all your cooling, heating, plumbing, air duct cleaning, and commercial needs. Call us today at 347-8086 to take advantage of these early bird specials. Or to schedule online, visit ChoatesHVAC.com. So turn to the experts with Choates. And remember, let our family serve your family.
Progressive Snapshot can save you money based on how you drive and how much you drive. So the safer you drive, the more money you could save. Now, if you didn't hear that because you were yelling at another car while driving, let me say it again. You need to calm down. Yelling is just making everyone as stressed out as you are and letting them all know that you definitely aren't trying to save with Progressive Snapshot. And if you did hear it the first time because you weren't yelling at another car, nice work. You'd love Snapshot from Progressive because it rewards safe drivers. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in California and North Carolina or from all agents.
Hey, you! Ever wanted to learn a language like French or Spanish or even Norwegian, but thought it'd be too difficult or time-consuming? Then try Babbel. Quick 10-minute lessons.
Siesta.
Bambola. Games, podcasts, even live online classes with a real teacher.
Hola, clase.
In no time, chatting about real-life topics will feel, well, effortless. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com.
Simple, smooth, and every sip as easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does with your favorite mixer. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand bottled, taste tested, sent to a few friends, then taste tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff. Just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com.
Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Now, back to Sports 56 Grind Time. Here once again are Peter Edmiston and Anthony Sain.
Oh, feelings. Have you, Darian, have you apologized to Russell Westbrook yet?
Who, moi?
Yeah.
For what?
For all the times you called him Russell Westbrick.
No, I shall not. He makes $44 million a year. I shall not.
What does that mean, bro?
You make it, take it.
So because he's a millionaire, like he's in, like, you have the that gives you the pass. It's just like disrespectful.
That's what you signed up for. If you're going to get to the root cause of it, that's what you signed up for. You signed up to be a professional athlete.
You signed up to be a professional athlete.
You signed up to be a okay.
I can say whatever I want to say to you now.
I didn't say the death threats. The death threats and the family deals, all of that stuff is off limits.
Nina Westbrook says death wishes.
Yeah.
No about death threats.
But if you are literally last in the NBA in qualifying players in three-point percentage and then you're third from the bottom in free throw percentage, your name is Westbrook.
Well, this goes back to, for those that don't know, Russell Westbrook yesterday after the Lakers lost to the Spurs. Again, Lakers losing.
Mm-hmm.
This was, by the way, the game which Greg Popovich tied for the all-time NBA lead in coaching, kind of a very low-key, sort of huge accomplishment.
Very huge.
But not one that's major. I guess when he passes, when he comes to one, he'll get a little more attention maybe. But Russell Westbrook, after the game, his wife had gone on to Twitter yesterday and had mentioned that she had received. She said, "When I'm being harassed on a daily basis over basketball games, and I'm having obscenities and death wishes for me and my family sent my way because you're expressing your quote unquote truth, it's hard for me to get on board with that." So saying that that there's been death wishes and obscenities and such. Westbrook says, I 100% stand behind my wife and how she's feeling when it comes to basketball. I don't mind the criticism of missing and making shots, but the moment it becomes where my name is getting shamed, it becomes an issue. I've kind of let it go in the past because it never really bothered me. I don't think that's true. Especially there was
saying he let go
almost
something
the same,
go.
almost the same press conference a year ago in Washington. But anyway, he said, but it really kind of hit me the other day. Me and my wife were at parent-teacher conferences for my son, and the teacher told me, Noah, he's so proud of his last name. He writes it everywhere. He writes it on everything. He tells everybody and walks around and says, I'm Westbrook. And I kind of sat there in shock, and it hit me like, damn, I can no longer allow people to besmirch my name.
I wish that whole third grade just haze him. Just call him Westbrook the rest of
He's 4-year-old, so I think
okay.
pre-
That's
pre-K.
even better.
Let's
That's
not have,
even better.
I don't support any hazing of
No.
pre-Kers or anyone else for that matter.
But he's throwing his family in it. He needs to get off of that schneid, man. 2-3 weeks ago, he
said it's
y'all
shaming my name, shaming my legacy for my kids. It's a name that means not just to me, but to my wife, my mom, my dad, the ones that kind of paved the way for me. So don't disrespect my name, is what he's saying. So Westbrook is disrespecting his name. I think number one, he's guaranteed that he's going to get called Westbrook a lot more.
In every,
I'm not even sure
arena.
that like that even I'm not a Russell Westbrook fan as a player. As a person, by all accounts.
Never met the guy.
Well, I know I've Matt Tumbleson, who used to be here for media relations with the Grizzlies, who's now with the Thunder. I was having a couple drinks with him one time around a Thunder game, and he was telling stories about Russell Westbrook, working with him and all that stuff, and said, off the court he's great. He brings cupcakes for staff members. Like he's a good dude. Like he does a lot of really awesome things. So as a person, he seems like he's a really good guy. But sports hate is different than hate. Calling you Westbrook is not besmirching your family name. As far as I'm concerned, it's just a funny. It's just a goof.
Bringing the family in is a weak move to me.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a weak move.
I agree. I think it's you're allowing that to your own family. We've talked about it before, just like with the Jaw stuff. Put a lid on your bucket, man. Don't let somebody else define what your family is. It's not disrespecting your family, except you're the one who's made it that. They're disrespecting. If anything, they're disrespecting you, but really they're just goofing. It's just a goof thing. Obviously you are in the NBA. You have made hundreds of millions of dollars, and you are playing at an extremely high level compared to the rest of the world. But that comes with pressure. That comes with, if you didn't want pressure, you could have stayed in Oklahoma City. If you didn't want pressure, you could have, you didn't have to go to LA. You didn't have to push for that move. Like, you knew when you go to LA that the spotlight is going to be as bright as it could possibly be. And if you don't perform, that's the way it goes, man. I don't think this is, I get what he's saying, and I don't think you need to harass people. I certainly don't think death threats or death wishes or death anything that's completely inappropriate. And getting involved with people's families is completely inappropriate. If someone's like, talking to his kids or talking to, his wife or whatever, no, that's completely inappropriate. But as far as like calling him Westbrook at a game, absolutely, that's appropriate. That's fine. It's not cursing you out. It's just that's sports.
2 weeks after telling the media, basically, go to hell, and he does not take this home. Now he has this.
Yeah.
I agree with y'all and disagree with y'all at the same time. Everything y'all was saying is true, but there's also a backside of it too.
Separate the family part.
No, here's the thing. Like, how do you expect him to? Like, if it's just like Muhammad Ali said. Well, I hate to use that particular comparison, but it's like if he's under attack, it's hard for him to tell. Okay,
the attack from Muhammad Ali is a little different than.
You're right. It's hard to. No, but if his wife's getting like people like coming, if they're coming to his wife about anything, you're out of line. Period. If you're coming to his wife saying Westbrook or whatever you're doing, all that's out of line. This is wife, man.
Yeah.
All right, so
I agree.
Like, and it's hard to separate. All right, well, this is okay and this is okay, and then when it come down to me, y'all know I don't play with my name stuff either. So I feel what he's saying on it, especially if he's saying that his kids, people are saying, well, I thought your last name was Westbrook.
You have a right to go to the game, but you made a conscious decision to go to the game. As a wife, you don't have to be in that arena.
No, I'm not gonna tell the man wife to stay at home.
No, but she also. But it's also.
I'm not doing it.
It's also.
Darren, you saying this crap because you a fake Laker fan. That's the only reason why you.
No, man. He can't do this.
I'm not mad at any take on this. Like, seriously.
We're going to table this because we got to
go back.
We got.
He can't do this,
Johnson. We got. But we're going to table this because I see what you're saying, but there's the right ways and wrong ways to go about doing this. I don't think this is the right way to do it. We'll come back. We'll talk to Stephen Johnson about the Tigers who are doing it the right way. Just a few days away from the AAC tournament, and very likely just a few days away from a seemingly at one time very unlikely NCAA tournament bid, but I believe it's coming.
Look at me now.
We'll talk about it when we continue here. Hour number 2 on the way. Stick around.
Yes, it's still winter. Yes, it's still cold outside. But Family Leisure wants you to start thinking towards spring and maybe even summer. So Family Leisure's pool and patio sale is happening right now. Come to Family Leisure to get started on your outdoor living space. Yes, I know it's cold and dreary outside, but this is the perfect time to think ahead. Pools are in stock and ready to go. Brand new 2022 patio furniture is hitting the floor each and every day. In-stock hot tubs are ready for delivery. You can get fantastic deals on play gyms, trampolines, grills, and outdoor kitchens. I know you are already looking forward to spring and summer, and so does Family Leisure. But if you sit on the couch too long, the best deals will be gone. So don't wait until it's too late. Stop thinking about spring and summer. Start planning for it. The pool and patio sale is in season right now. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road. That's Whitten at I-40, where family and fun all come together.
Get in the game, Mid-South.
Coach Colin.
And Coach Hunter here from DeSoto Auto Sales.
We're maniacs for all this madness.
But if we're going to catch all these games, we need your help.
So we cooked up a 3-point plan to help you
rebound from your old ride.
1.
Pick any nicer, newer car on the lot.
2.
Pass us your old ride.
3.
Will come in with the assist.
And give you up to $3,000 more than Kelley Blue Book value.
Based on the price of the car you pick.
So if your old rod makes you feel second string,
it's time for a rebound.
Because you could get up to $3,000 more than it's worth.
Worried about fouls on your credit report?
Our For the People credit approval process is a slam dunk.
But hurry.
This deal's done at the buzzer.
I'm Colin.
And I'm Hunter, and we're your dealers.
For the people. See all the cars at DeSotoAutoSales.com.
That's DeSotoAutoSales.com.
Credit requires bank approval. Vehicle purchase price determines actual trade allowance. Negative equity may be refinanced. Kelley Blue Book is a registered trademark of the Kelley Blue Book Company Incorporated, which is not affiliated with DeSoto Auto Sales. Offer absolutely ends March 31st, 2022.
Progressive Snapshot can save you money based on how you drive and how much you drive. So the safer you drive, the more money you could save. Now, if you didn't hear that because you were yelling at another car while driving, let me say it again. You need to calm down. Yelling is just making everyone as stressed out as you are and letting them all know that you definitely aren't trying to save with Progressive Snapshot. And if you did hear it the first time because you weren't yelling at another car, nice work. You'd love Snapshot from Progressive because it rewards safe drivers. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in California and North Carolina or from all agents.
If you need glass replaced, there's only one name you need to know. Binswanger Glass, the largest full-service glass company in the U.S. They've been an industry leader for over 145 years. For all your residential, commercial, or auto glass needs, Binswanger Glass is the name you need to know. 24-hour emergency service for all commercial customers, plus a nationwide warranty on all professionally installed glass. Visit Binswanger Glass in Midtown at 340 South Hollywood across from the Liberty Bowl. Visit binswingerglass.com. Binswanger Glass.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Grind Time. This hour is brought to you by Poultry Power. Here once again are Peter Edmiston and Anthony Sain.
Man.
Great to see you there.
That's what Russell Westbrook gonna do. Call him
clowning, man.
Sierra. Nuggets tweeted out, we finally get to be neighbors with Sierra.
There you go. What'd she say?
That's what the Denver Nuggets account said.
What?
So
see, man, hey, it's too many people playing people's wives today, bro. I ain't gonna lie. It's just on National Women's Day. All we're talking about is disrespecting somebody's wife. No, but you know what? You're not going to do that. Anyway, we'll talk about that later when we resume this Russell Westbrook talk.
You say you don't play that name game.
Why is the Denver Nuggets account talking? Yeah, we get to be neighbors with Sierra.
She's already showing her goodies.
Man, bro, you even play about wife like that.
Yes.
Get CJ back on the phone.
Yeah, get CJ on the phone.
That man hung up.
Let's get CJ up here.
All right, hour number 2 presented by Poultry Power. Pete and Sam with you. Darian producing the program. We talked a bunch of NFL. Huge trade in the NFL for those that did not hear it yet. Russell Wilson has been traded to the Denver Broncos. The Seahawks quarterback making a huge move, 33-year-old going for a big-time package, including Drew Lock, 2 firsts, 2 seconds, Noah Fant, some like a 5th-round pick, like some other stuff. Like it's a big rebuilding type package that's headed to Seattle in exchange for the probably potential future Hall of Famer, I would imagine. So a huge move for the Broncos to make themselves relevant. Also, we've talked a lot of Grizzlies who are back in action on national TV. Another TNT game tonight for the Grizzlies. So no Bally Sports broadcast again. It'll just be the TNT. This is kind of weird. 2 of those in a week for the Grizzlies after it's been years since they've had one. So a little bit strange. 6:30 tip off for that one. So all that coming up, and of course later on this week, the Tigers begin AAC tournament action as the 3rd seed. And joining us now to talk about that and heading over to Fort Worth, I would imagine, or maybe already there, I don't know, is our friend Steven Johnson from the Daily Memphian. Steven, what's up? You got it looks like this tumultuous, crazy, dramatic year is ending on a high note.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll be heading down to Texas probably on Thursday. I would have went tomorrow, but they had one more media availability before they go down there. But, yeah, man, I mean, it's kind of crazy to see it happen. I think we all knew it was possible. It was just so much going on. You just never knew that could turn it around. And I think Sunday just represented how far they've come and how dangerous they can end up being in March.
When you were watching the game, we talked about how often, Stephen, you have a dual responsibility. You're a fan as well as a media member who covers this team. At what point, for me, when I saw Tyler hit that crazy 3-pointer and then come down a couple plays later and throw the alley-oop to Minot, I knew the game was over. What was your level of excitement being in fan mode when you saw those kind of gut punches that the Tigers threw against the Cougars on Sunday?
Well, I mean, it was certainly exciting. I think it's always hard during the game to kind of maintain just that 100% media.
Yeah, because you were sitting right there on press row, so yeah.
Yeah, so that's never. I've been to some Tiger games before, obviously, but I'm sitting in the pinnacle level or somewhere up higher, so just see it up close. I can't lie, man. It was special. Especially when A-Lo did the behind the back pass to Tyler. From that point, I just kind of knew, because when you're making plays like that, the energy, and like I kind of told y'all guys the last time we talked about it, Houston, look, they're going to outwork you, they're going to out-hustle you, they're going to try to out-tough you, but if you can match that, they don't really have much going for them, in my mind, because they're dealing with those injuries. So I knew kind of early it was a wrap, and I just wasn't expecting the margin to be that big, but I knew it was kind of a wrap early on.
Well, you could see, and we talked about the emotion, the way that they approached the game, and then Stephen, it does feel like the mentality of the team has changed and has flipped. I was talking a little bit about it yesterday. I think some of that has to do with the energy level in the arena, the energy levels that they've been dealing with. Is that part of it? Is it a confidence thing? What is the mental side of it for you?
I definitely think they feed off the crowd, even though they've kind of done a better job of playing on the road. But you could just tell it was just such a stark difference in the team we saw against South Florida and what happened on Sunday. And I kind of expected what happened in that last game to happen, because that arena was a lot different type of atmosphere than what we saw at the Forum. So I think they're a team that really feeds off of that. But I think mentally, overall, I think everybody is just really just together. Like, you just sense it when they're in the press conferences. We kind of have a little bit of access to them after the game, especially on the road, just seeing how they interact, the mood of the team and things like that. So I think playing at home always helps. But I think right now, with how much trust they have in each other, man, I just think that they're all mentally in a great spot.
CJ, what do you think? We've been talking about how the players have stepped up and those type of things.
CJ.
I said CJ, my bad. I said CJ.
SJ, maybe.
SJ. Crooked IJ.
Hey, Steven, don't get offended by this. This man is.
No, it's all good.
I mean, he's I don't know.
Steven Johnson, my guy, my friend in real life. Hey, we talked about the players and how they stepped up. What about the way that Coach Holloway is not the same coach he was at the beginning of the season? really on or off the court. He's kind of admitted to some of his faults he's had throughout the year. What do you think? He just looks a lot more prepared, a lot more poised before and after the games. What do you think has led to his turnaround as a coach for the guys this year?
Well, if going off his own words, apparently YouTube helped him out a lot. He said kind of after that moment, after the first SMU loss, after the rain and things like that, start going on YouTube, looking up motivational speeches. And I think mentally, kind of like we were just talking about with the players, I think he went to a different level mentally as well, too. He talked about how frustrated he's been, how much he didn't really get a lot of sleep. So you could just really tell he took it personal, what was going on. And I think on the court-wise, he's finally doing what people have kind of just been clamoring for all season. You're noticing those rotations are really getting tight. Down the stretch, it's only been 7 or 8 guys. And I think he really understands now. He said he's not giving out quote-unquote sympathy minutes anymore or trying to go out there and play as many people as possible to appease feelings when he knows it's winning time. So I think we said he might be a little too lenient on the guys early in the year. And I think he's become a tougher coach in a good way because just if you're on the sideline, if you're up close, he's coaching hard, man. Like even when they're up 20, 30 points like they were against Wichita or against Houston, I think he's been more forceful. If you kind of remember early in the season when things were going bad, like Penny might sit on the sideline or like on the scoring table and just kind of look dejected. But he has a lot more energy, so he's grown up a lot too, just like the players.
Well, I think that it's interesting to see the way that he's approached it. He's had his moments where he's kind of fiddled with the rotations a little bit, and it still feels like he's tempted to kind of extend it out. But Stephen, is it just assuming that fouls don't come into play, and fingers crossed they don't? Is there much reason to go beyond the 7? Tyler Harris had a phenomenal game, and he's been important, really important. The starters, Tyler Harris, and then Minot for some spot minutes. It feels like beyond that, like the Earl Timberlake minutes were a little squishy. Chandler Lawson, no. I think this is a 7-man rotation at this point, right?
I would say so, but I think Penny feels like he has a strategy that works right now, which is play a bunch of guys in the first half. He calls it strength in numbers, and then kind of see who are the 7 or 8 guys that really have it going, and then kind of stick to those guys in the second half, and not kind of bring in anybody that hasn't been effective. So you would maybe love to just kind of see him just stick to that rotation for the entire game. But if that plan works for him, they won 10 of their last 11 games, so they're having success with it. I don't really think he'll change it. And I think if they're going to continue to play that pressing defense, I can understand why you want to stretch that rotation out early on. But I just think it has to be strategic, and you can't have minutes out there where you have a Malco, Chandler, and Earl with maybe just a Tyler out there, because I'm not sure how effective those combinations would be. So I would be maybe in favor of him maybe sticking to his strategy, strength the numbers and shrinking it down. But it's just about making sure the right guys are playing with one another instead of having some of these kooky lineups where you only have one shooter and like 3 or 4 bigs out there almost.
Well, Stephen, I've been a lot more indifferent about this year's season than I've been involved. So I'm asking you, because I know that no one is closer to this team in the city than you are. Help make sense of senior night for me Sunday.
Well, Alo said he wanted just to go through it, and almost act like the COVID year didn't happen. He wanted to, as he said, kind of stick to the script. He wanted to really go through it. I think Penny also wanted him to have that moment, because my understanding is I don't think they originally were going to have anybody do senior day, and then Alo said he kind of wanted to do it. So I think it was just the opportunity to, considering it was against Houston and that moment in front of a packed arena, I guess it was something that Alo couldn't resist. But he said after the game he hasn't made any decisions on if he's going to come back or not. If that was his last game at the Forum, it would be a great way to go out. But that's how things unfolded from what Penny and some of the guys told us.
The approach now in the tournament, it looks as though, do you think? Well, first of all, do you think that they have to win? I'm assuming they will, the way they're playing, and given the opposition that they're likely to play on Friday. But let's just say worst case scenario, somehow they lose that quarterfinal to UCF or USF. Does that put them in jeopardy, or are they in regardless?
I think that might put them, I wouldn't say in big jeopardy. I think that might drop them down to like that last 4-in game or something like that, first 4 games, whatever they call them. But I think the main concern for Memphis has to worry about just how many bids end up getting stolen, because that's really the thing that I think, and that's something that's out of their control. But is this going to be a week where we see teams that weren't on the bubble kind of sneak in and kind of steal some of those bids? That might make things a little more stressful for Memphis. But I think I'm kind of like you. Whoever they play on Friday, they should handle, move on, and if you beat SMU, I don't know what they had to do to get past those guys. But I think as long as they win that first game, they should be in. And after that, anything else that they win, and of course if you win the tournament, that's just going to kind of maybe help out their seeding.
Well, I mentioned, I'm glad that you said it, because that was the next question is the SMU game. That's been the one team that's really been a matchup issue, and maybe in the same way that Houston has a real problem with Memphis this year. It seems like Memphis has a real problem with SMU, and they just cooked them early in the second half in that game in Dallas. It'll be in that same area, different arena, but is that a matchup issue for the Tigers, or are they specific circumstances that led to those 2 losses?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think the fact that what we've seen in both games, even though SMU, I don't think they started a guy over 6'5", like they either won or maybe were even with the Tigers in the rebounding battle. Considering how the length and the size the Tigers have, that's like you can't have that happen. And I think that's just kind of like a clear sign of just SMU brings a different type of energy when they play them. Yes, the first game they weren't exactly healthy and they just had a really bad start. The second game, it was a close game back and forth, and then it just kind of turned in a single sequence. So there has been some. I think you say both of those losses were almost defined by one sequence, the beginning of the game and the first one, and that strange second half where they just went on that avalanche. But if you're the Tigers, I do think, and another thing that they have struggled with is Kendrick Davis. They don't really have a guy that's been able to check him. Maybe you try Lester this time, but look, he's one of the best players in the AAC, and he's been having a lot of success. So I think it's a tough matchup. There were some circumstances in the other games that just kind of made them feel maybe not fluky, but just a little bit strange. Like I don't think SMU is 15 or 20 points better than Memphis, but it's a matchup problem. I think the size and Kendrick Davis is something they're going to have to kind of figure out how to contain.
I hear a lot of things that people say about the SMU situation, and I'm sorry, Stephen. After what I saw Sunday, Houston has been a top 10, 15 level team, ranked all season long. They've been at the top of the conference the entire season. I've always thought Memphis had way better talent than anyone, especially with the losses that Houston had as far as injuries. Maybe I'm overthinking this, but I'm like, all right, man, if Memphis is playing to their potential, they should go win the conference tournament too. Like, I've got them as the favorites to win the conference tournament at this point. Am I moving too fast on that, or is this what do you think about that? As far as I know, I get SMU all that, but SMU ain't as good as us. Like, not if we're playing good basketball.
No, I don't think that's unfair at all. Like, if you go in there expecting them to do it, then, like I said, I wouldn't say that's crazy at all. But just because even with SMU, you got too much size, too much talent, man. You should be winning the rebounding battle. They play like they did on Sunday. It's hard for me seeing a lot of teams just being able to beat them, straight, whether they're in the AAC or we're talking about these top 25 teams. So I agree with you. It's just about the Tigers just have to bring that same type of level of execution, that same type of energy, because after a while, Houston was in it, but Houston backed down. And you could just kind of tell with the demeanor on the court and things like that, how much trash talk there was and just how quiet their side had gotten. SMU's not going to be that different type of team, and they're going to have a different level of confidence. So I think that's just going to be a tough matchup. But if they beat SMU, I think they'll beat Houston again. I just don't think, like Peter said, Memphis is that matchup for Houston, just like SMU is that matchup for Memphis. So I think they can get past them. It is hard to beat a team 3 times, but I think with the Tigers locked in and focused and the way Jalen and those guys are playing, I think they'll get them this time. I don't think it'll be easy, though.
Well, we'll see. I think it would be a real confidence booster too, to go ahead and get rid of that the monkey off their back on that situation if they can do it. Even still, I think I would agree that I think they're probably safe no matter what. It becomes then, can you go up to like a 8-9? But as you kind of, I'm sure you're sort of kind of glancing ahead and looking at all the different bracketologies, and I've seen them up in the 8-9 matchup, and then I've seen them down in the 11. They're pretty much in everywhere. Do you think from if you're looking ahead to potential matchups, that kind of thing, does it make that big of a difference to them if they are a 8, 9, 10, or 11? Or given the way things are in college basketball now, is it just going to kind of be, there's a lot of equal teams right now, quite honestly, and it doesn't really matter where you end up playing them?
I think they had to pick, they probably would want to be like a 10 or 11 seed, just to kind of be in that area with a 6 seed, a 7 seed, and 2 or the 3. I don't think there's a great team in college basketball this year. I think there are some teams with some really good talent that have potential, but we've seen Gonzaga get knocked off, Auburn get knocked off. Duke just lost to a North Carolina team that was on the bubble. So there's a lot of pretty good, very good, but nobody that in my mind is as good as Gonzaga or Baylor last year. So I do think it's wide open. And it's important to remember this was a team that was picked number 12 in the preseason. So they're starting to play up to that level. So it's not like they're a team that came out of left field. They've always had the talent that many people thought to contend to go pretty deep in the tournament. So for them, it's just going to be all about matchups. And I think if you're in that 10 spot, I think they'll win their first game regardless of who they play with the way they've been playing now, whether it's an 8 seed, a 7 seed, 6 seed. And after that, then it just kind of comes down to matchups. And I don't think anybody wants to play them. And I think, if you get the right matchup, then I think Sweet 16 is something that's going to be very possible with the team we've been looking at these past couple of weeks.
Sky Clark decommitted from Kentucky. Memphis was in there till the end with him. Do you feel the vibe? You feel the energy? Memphis going to need a point guard next year?
It could be possible. I know Sky's dealing with some injury problems, and you have to wonder with Penny with how much he's always talked about how much the AAC is so much older, and now they're playing 28 and 27-year-olds or whatever. I wouldn't be surprised if Penny really focuses just on hitting the transfer portal. It wouldn't hurt to bring in a guy like Sky who was highly ranked before he started dealing with the injury. So the talent you would hope is still there, but I wouldn't be surprised if they only bring in maybe one freshman. They have offer out to Hansel Emmanuel, who was at the game, sitting courtside for the warm-ups and things like that. So I think they might bring in one of those freshmen, whether it be him or Clark, and then they'll just kind of really hit the transfer portal hard. But they might be in a position with the way the season's ending where they bring a lot of guys back as well too. So I think he'll definitely be a name to watch.
What is the current status / role of Imani Bates on this team?
Well, he was at the game. He's been at all the home games. His dad was there too. I'm not sure if he'll be there for Texas, just because there's also the team has this little weird policy or whatever. Not weird, but they don't no longer bring the red shirts and injured guys on the road with them. So I'm not sure if he'll keep that up for the tournament and the conference tournament. But Penny says at this point, he told us last week there's no deadline or no cutoff point. But for me personally, you're in the postseason now. It's hard for me to imagine, him coming back and playing at some point this season, just because you don't want to disrupt your rhythm. And you also don't want to put him in that situation where, if he can magically be cleared and say he can play against SMU in that semifinal, you don't want to bring him back for that type of game and just kind of set up with some of the narrative that could happen if you end up losing. So I think he's been there with the team, supporting them and things like that. But as a player, I would be surprised if he suits up again for this March Madness run.
Stephen, there are reports out that Imani Bates was on the sideline getting slimy. Can you confirm or deny it?
I can neither confirm nor deny, but that speculation might be a little bit accurate.
Yeah, I did hear that when Tyler was going off that he was getting slimy alongside Tyler. So
can somebody just
look into this?
What? Just out of curiosity, what would that entail?
Yeah.
Getting slimy.
Peter, I'm not sure you will understand me.
Hey, Peter surprised you, man.
I'm just maybe just a quick, maybe just sketch it out a little bit.
Yeah. Just give a little flesh to it.
it's just a understanding between two brothers when one is going off in a situation like that. And look, the best way I can put it is he was letting him know he's on the same type of vibe.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
The Ja Morant mood, right?
Mood.
Okay.
Mood.
All right. Is it?
I hope that was helpful, Peter.
Stephen, thank you. Now, I have a few further questions. I'd like to just a follow-up
questions on the slime,
if you don't mind. I don't mean to have you be a representative of
slime culture.
That's not fair to you. But seeing as how you were willing to step out and answer a little bit, I do have some more further questions. If in fact, let's say hypothetically, Stephen, my performance is good and you're getting slimy as a result because you're on the same vibe. How would I know that? Would you tell me that, or would I just feel the slime vibe occurring?
It's the hand gesture, right?
Yeah, it will be some type of gesture, gesture to let you know, let you know you in your bag, Peter.
Okay, all right.
Today is Wife Day, so it'd be like a Doug Christie hand signal to his wife.
Is that a specific hand signal, or is it just just any hand signal I would be aware, like, oh,
it's like an okay sign?
Okay, I got it. Yeah, I'm in my bag. I got it. Thank you. Appreciate that.
We'll probably do something with a little more flavor than okay sign, but you'll know. You'll know.
Okay, all right.
Oh
okay.
man,
right.
Thank you, Steve.
I appreciate that. I feel a lot. That's tough questions, but fair questions, and I feel like I feel a lot more. Dare I say I'm feeling just a tad bit slimy. I feel like I might.
My job has been done today.
Yeah, man, we appreciate you.
I feel like you're in your bag a little bit right now. If you could see me, I'm giving you.
Yeah, the slime. We slamming you up right here. I'm
giving you a little, some hand gestures right now.
I can feel it. It's a mental thing.
That's exactly right. There's a vibe to it, man. That's what it is. All right, so so sliminess is abundant.
So slimy, I'm literally about to blow my nose on the video.
Man, it's but just to speak to that, the sliminess is seemingly abundant with the Tigers at this point in time. You see the vibe is real, and now I know this didn't necessarily go down the way that we all kind of expected it to this year. It's been, as I said yesterday, a circuitous route. They've gone all around the world and come back, but they kind of gotten back to where they need to. Is this team better? It's hard to answer a negative here, so I don't know. But do you think this team is better served having gone through all this stuff? Does that make them tougher now as an out in the tournament than potentially if they kind of glide through the season and didn't have this much turmoil?
I would lean and say yes, just because I think if you can get into a situation, into one of these like postseason events, having gone through adversity, I think is always going to be more of a benefit than a detriment. There's always have to wonder about some of these teams that come in with these amazing records. And I'm not saying that Memphis wouldn't prefer to do that, but it is a question we always have. What's going to happen if the game's tight, if the game's close? And Memphis has already been through all of those situations. Some of it's been self-inflicted. Some of it's been because of the other team. So I do think that overall that I think they'll be mentally tougher. I think they've learned how to close out games specifically, which is what you have to do because, when you get down the stretch, especially if they go as far as we think they can go, you got to expect those games are going to be tightly contested. So I think in the end, would they have rather gone whatever, like 28-4, whatever their record is, or 24-3? I would say yes, but at the end of the day, I think everything they went through, those losses, some of those close wins, will all kind of pay off when they start making their run.
It all starts this week, Friday, specifically very, very late Friday. The game won't tip off until probably like 9:30 or something because, these conference tournaments always end up being pretty delayed. So I think it's not going to be over till midnight. I don't know when you're going to file your piece, but it's going to be a late night for you, man. It's going to be a late, maybe a few nights, as a matter of fact, and then you hop on a plane and head wherever the Tigers are heading for the NCAA tournament. Enjoy it, man. We're going to talk next week, and we're going to talk more, obviously, because this is, man, it's March. It's your time to shine.
All right, man. Appreciate y'all, man. Keep it slimy, Peter.
Keep it slimy.
I can't help it now. Now I have no choice. Now that I've unlocked the secrets of slime, man, I'm keeping it always slimy. Dare I say grimy, maybe even. Thanks, Stephen. Stephen Johnson from the Daily Memphian. See, you got to ask questions, man. You got to ask, you got to learn, you got to grow as an individual, and I feel like I've done that.
Up out of there
today. Yeah. Thank you. We're going to talk. I want to get back into because we've had some good, interesting reaction to this Russell Westbrook stuff. We're going to talk about that. We'll keep you updated the latest on if anything's changed or if any extra info coming out about this Russell Wilson situation. The Commanders, rumor has it, the Commanders were trying to get involved in the Russell Wilson sweepstakes, and like many things else with that team, they failed. And so we'll talk about that as we continue here on the program, live from the Family Leisure Studios on kind of a yuck sort of day. Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Get in the swing of things. Grab your friends, your clients, your employees, and go enjoy everything you love about Topgolf in a luxury suite while at Memphis' only Topgolf Swing Suite at Erling Jensen's Small Bites. Topgolf Swing Suite is an immersive social experience offering guests a luxury private lounge to enjoy Erling Jensen's extraordinary food and beverage service, all while playing a selection of games in a one-of-a-kind simulation day. Topgolf Swing Suites are great for work outings, celebrations, or just getting together. It's fun for the whole family. It's fun for golfers and non-golfers alike. They have more than just golf. They have soccer, baseball, zombie dodgeball, football, and more. Located at 5069 Sainterland, adjacent to the Doubletree East Memphis. Check us out at swingsuitememphis.com or call us at 901-58-SWING. Again, that's 901-58-SWING at Memphis' only Topgolf Swing Suite at Erling Jensen's Small Bites. Book your suite today.
It's Conference Championship Week in college basketball, and FanDuel Sportsbook has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can place their first college basketball bet risk-free, and if you don't win, you'll get up to $1,000 back. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, now is the perfect time to give it a shot. The app is so easy to use. They're always hooking you up with great odds. So see for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app today and sign up with promo code CASH to get your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. That's promo code CASH. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
Hey, you! Ever wanted to learn a language like French or Spanish or even Norwegian, but thought it'd be too difficult or time-consuming? Then try Babbel. Quick 10-minute lessons.
Siesta.
Bambola. Games, podcasts, even live online classes with a real teacher.
Hola, clase.
In no time, chatting about real-life topics will feel, well, effortless. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Now, back to Sports 56 Grind Time. This hour is brought to you by Poultry Power. Here once again are Peter Edmiston and Anthony Sain.
Make a wish, baby. Come on out. Make a wish. It might come true. FanDuel.
Come on now.
They'll make you happy. Make you happy, ladies and gentlemen. You know it. You love it. It is college basketball time. Yeah. Woo! We've already got conference tournaments. ACC happening right now as we speak. We got the finals of the West Coast tournament. Gonzaga, San Francisco. And all of it is on FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook. Conference Championship Week is here, and FanDuel Sportsbook has an offer you will not want to miss. Right now, new customers can place their first college basketball bet risk-free. And if you don't win, which, come on, you're going to win. But if you don't win, you get up to $1,000 back. It's a risk-free bet. Absolutely. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app today and sign up with promo code BIGHEAD to get your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. You're talking about same-game parlays. You're talking about live betting. You're talking about big promotions. You're talking about all of it happening this week with all the matchups that are going on, all the games across the country. You got to jump in. There are dozens and dozens for you to jump in and enjoy yourself with. You can do all of that. FanDuel Sportsbook. FanDuel Sportsbook app. Sign up with promo code BIGHEAD to get your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. That is promo code BIGHEAD, FanDuel Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. Refund issue is non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call TN Redline. 1-800-889-9789. So, we were talking prior to our pal Steven Johnson. We were discussing the Russell Westbrook situation. And for those that didn't hear, he has expressed his frustration and anger that people are calling him West Brick, and that his wife has experienced what she terms harassment and death wishes at some point, and going to games and all of that stuff. And so we kind of disagree a little bit on this.
Not really a true disagreement.
Darren's just a hater, so I might want to concern myself with that. Darren's comments coming from a
Lakers fan.
You guys are being circuitous.
Laker fan dislike right there. But I said, number one, it comes with the territory. It depends on all this stuff is all relative. Okay. So, and I don't mean that, no pun intended. I mean that's it's all relative. It's all where this thing is happening. If, for example, your wife and kids go to a game, and you're surrounded by fans are going to say fan stuff. That is within their right as fans to do.
It's happening.
You are putting yourself in that scenario where you are surrounded by them. That's why so many family members that go to games go in their own section. They have a family section, or they have a family suite, or some kind of a protected area, so that they don't necessarily have to hear that kind of stuff, because you probably don't want to hear it. If fans are calling out players in a normal way, like, I mean, if you're obviously not verbal abuse, not like, profanity or, slurs or stuff like that. That's way over the line. But if you're just doing like, hey man, you suck, make a shot, boo, that kind of stuff, like, that's being at a game. And if you as a family member are choosing to put yourself in that situation, then you have to accept that that's going to happen. Yeah. Now, it's different if somebody is on the street and they're just walking around and somebody's like, boo, you suck. Yeah. Okay, now you're well within your rights to say, look, that's ridiculous. Like, so to me, it's all about where this stuff is happening, what's going on. If you're on social media, you have to expect the social media. And our friend Sharon says, because I mentioned, like, if your wife and kids can't go to the game, how would you feel? She says, Peter and Darian, how would you feel if things like that happened to your families because you're on the radio? And I said, well, it has happened before. And it happened on a message board. When I first started out, I remember there was a University of Memphis message board that posted all kinds of terrible stuff about me. And some of them saw pictures of me and my wife, said some bad stuff about my family. Like, it was terrible. And I didn't like it. Of course I didn't like it. And of course I never like it if my family gets involved. But at the same token, I didn't like call I didn't like post or like call somebody. I just noted it. And, I noted that was really disrespectful. But I also noted that that's a message board for the Tigers. Somebody linked me to it and said, hey, did you see this? I was like, I clicked on it. I'm like.
Otherwise, you wouldn't have saw it, right?
Exactly. I wasn't like out there just trying to find stuff. But like somebody sent me and said, have you seen this? And I was like, no, I didn't see it. And I clicked on it. I was like, oh, my God. Obviously made me mad. But like, that's a forum where that's supposed to be a safe space where you can say whatever.
Right.
And like if I'm there, I'm in your safe space, and if you're saying stuff about me, okay, you know, it's not like they're coming to my house and like are sending me letters or something like that. People have sent me letters, and that's a different situation. But like,
letters are great.
It all depends on where it's happening and what's happening. So I mean, I'm not gonna say it didn't make me mad, but like, I also stopped and kind of thought like, okay, well, people have the right to express even severely stupid opinions in their own little, you know, safe bubble, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree with what you're saying. It's not a perfect parallel. I'm not trying to downplay what you're saying or disrespect you or your wife's situation.
No.
But like that's like Darian said, that's something that you didn't have to attend, and that's those people's safe space. That's a little different than a chorus of Westbrook happening at a game that you're playing in.
Quick question before you get rolling.
It's not
Do
a
you
big deal
care
to me
if
either
it's
way,
at
I'm just
home or away?
No.
You don't care.
I mean, I don't care about any of it.
It shouldn't be happening at home.
I'm just saying he does have the right to say, look, y'all. If he has the right to say F y'all back if he wants to.
For sure. But like but I mean
that's my thing.
But that's part but that's I mean, man, look, there is a part of the reason why you make all the money that you make as a professional athlete is that fans are encouraged to come to games, pay lots of money, express their opinions, be part of the action, all that stuff. There's a line and people kind of know where that line is.
Mm-hmm.
As long, hey man, if you're struggling as an athlete, and it sucks, and I mean, that's why you have to be mentally extremely strong, and that's why a lot of people have not had what it takes to be an athlete at the highest level. I don't know that very many people really could, you know, like John Morant talking about how much it affected him to hear one person say that kind of. I mean, that's
one person.
Like that's.
It does make me worried when you said John Morant. That does make me worried what it's going to be like for John when he starts getting real criticism.
Yeah. Because it's going to happen, and this is why I cannot stress enough how important it's been for me personally to just and the same thing goes with the extended stuff with my family. Like, man, you have got to be in charge of your own mental well-being. You cannot let somebody else dictate how you feel, and that's where I think it's wrong. In my mind, it's wrong for Russell Westbrook to insinuate that these comments are demeaning his family name, because that's not true. That's just people being stupid and making funny, goofy comments. That doesn't demean your name unless you let it demean your name.
Yeah.
It isn't by itself. I don't hear somebody saying Westbrook and think like, well, that's disrespecting his wife. No, I mean, the family name is still the family name. Any more than,
whether they call you Westbrook or Brody. I was saying it in a good way as well. He didn't get upset when they called him Brody.
Yeah, it's just part of it, man. And so I don't know. To me, that's you bring the family into it, and that's it's kind of an excuse or kind of a you're the one who's sort of opening it up to that interpretation, not these other.
Damn, you just want to call the man Westbrook.
No, not really. I actually feel him. Watch this. Sain, did you play high school sports?
No, I didn't.
Okay, watch this. Quick story. I played for Southside High School. We were playing at Craigmont, and my mother was in the stands. And I got fouled on the 3-point shot, hit it, all this good stuff. No, you get up. And the entire crowd, the Craigmont big head, they were calling me big head.
Yeah.
So when we got home, my mother was like, do they call you that? Like, we were in the opposing gym. My mother was afraid that I was little big head,
right.
And it worried her. It bothered her. And I was like, no, Mom, that's a opposing gym. But we get back to Southside, nothing. So that's why I was asking you, does it bother you if it's an away gym or a home gym? If that's a home gym and that's supposed to be your safe space, I have a problem with it.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
If those were my classmates calling me that while I'm playing for you guys, like, hell, I wouldn't want to play anymore. But being in Craigmont, like I said, we're going to give them something to bull about. That's the way you have to look at it.
I get that for sure. Sometimes you have the right to say F you like internally. Maybe he just. But
I also separate the threats though. That's what I was being. I separate the threat portion. The portion where he was talking about if you're threatening my kids, I don't care, home, away, all that is totally separate. But you're gonna address people because they call you Westbrook, and again, you're last in qualifying players in shooting the 3-point shot as well as third from the bottom in free throws. That's your, that's okay. Like what people saying, that's in the realm of being okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's when you're in a public space, you have to accept that the people are going to have their opinion of your performance and the way that you do whatever it is that you do, whether you're an actor, whether you are a politician, whether you're a basketball player, whatever it may be. If you're a public figure, then people are going to have an opinion on what and you just have to allow that is the case. Their opinion may be 100% wrong. It may be based on 100% inaccurate information. It may be based on assumptions they're making that are completely wrong and false and ridiculous. People oftentimes have opinions on things that they don't necessarily know too much about.
And another thing too,
but that's their right. I mean, that's the right that somebody has as a human being to express that opinion, as long as it's in a reasonable forum in a reasonable way. Like, to me, an arena, whether it's home or away, if you boo or say Westbrook, that to me is pretty reasonable. And you just, as an athlete, you just kind of have to say, you know what?
I get the feeling Sain would go in the stands.
Who?
Yeah.
If I was a player?
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that too, because like we live in a time and culture where like I talked about this the other day, like we're going back to job. There's a situation here. Or just not just job. This happens all over the league. It's just we live in such a, quote culture, and it takes Peter to really talk about this more so than me. But like everything is like, at John Morant, look at what they're saying about you, or John, like, man, just shut up, man. You know what I mean? Like all this. This was all just a result of that, bro. You know what I mean?
Same way Peter said, if they don't, put a lid on your book.
Right.
If they don't.
There's so many NBA players that don't respond to stuff, but they see each and every trolling comment that everybody says on Twitter.
They all see it, don't they?
So it's like
some guys don't.
A lot of that is this, man. A lot of that is not what's just him hearing the chorus of Westbrook. It's the stuff that he's paying attention to on Twitter. And I'm telling you, man, there are several devices on Twitter that can eliminate all those things. Because me and Peter differ on this, I know for sure. I block the hell out of people on Twitter. Yeah. And I enjoy doing it. Because I'm like, bro, I'm not going to allow you access to just say whatever you want to say to me.
You know what else will help Westbrook? If he hits the shot.
Well, that's probably
that wouldn't hurt.
That wouldn't hurt.
That probably ain't happen.
That wouldn't hurt. Man, you just whatever you feel like you have to do. Some guys can handle it, some guys can't. If you're one of the people that can't handle it, then you can't. You have to either block everyone, only use Twitter to tweet things out and not actually read.
Cut your notifications off.
Turn notifications off. Turn all that stuff off. There are ways that you can do that if you want to, if it's a problem for you. But again, none of this is meant to justify anybody making a death threat or saying wishing violence on somebody or something like that. Obviously, that's way over the line and that's not cool in any forum for any reason. But to me, that's not the same thing as Westbrook. That doesn't really matter. Like, I mean, man, you think how many actors and actresses have had like just God knows what said about them and their families and their personal stuff and their weight and their appearance and all that stuff. And
LeBrick, go to his teammate. His name is LeBrick.
Yeah, I'm talking about like just like actors and actresses. I'm talking about the politicians. I'm talking about Hillary Clinton or something like that. Just think about like, oh my God, like you can't do anything. Like, that's a life lived in public, and a life that's been funded by money that comes, indirectly from the public, and based on public performance means you have to that's part of the territory. You have to deal with public evaluation, and that's somebody's right.
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
I can't fly an airplane. I'm not a pilot. But I know if a flight sucks, if we have much turbulence and it's late and we delayed and we spin around and we do all kinds of stuff and we fly through a bunch of crap. I know a bad flight when I see one, and I'm willing to. And I can express myself with that. I could say like, "Hey, man, that was."
And the pilot gets all off sad. I'm sorry.
You never flew a plane. No, I didn't. But I know what it's like. I've never cooked a meal, but I know when I go to a restaurant and have a garbage meal, like I know what that's like. So like. That's life. That's what happens, man. You have to deal with it.
These folks.
Just absolutely, but put a lid on your bucket.
He can't handle it.
And he just say, "Look, hey, you know what? Y'all call me Westbrook. That is on you, man. That is your right as individuals. To me, I'm always Russell Westbrook. I'm proud of that name. My family's proud of that name, and we're gonna keep doing our thing. And then there you go.
There's something else going on with him too.
Leave it.
It is mentally.
No. It's not mentally. Like I hear you saying he can't handle it. It's more than just the Westbrook stuff, because he's heard the Westbrook stuff forever. That's always been a thing.
It's his play too, though, right?
No, it's not just his play. he's a player who's watching his body diminish and doesn't really understand how to make sense of it.
Mm-hmm.
Russell Westbrook is one of the most athletic players in history in the NBA. And me and Peter talked about this off the air. It's not just, people call me Westbrook that's ticking me off. He's also dealing with, man, my body just ain't doing what it used to do.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago.
Like, I used to be able to jump and do this.
I can
now
jump over
that Rudy Gobert dunk.
Yeah.
He would have had that,
It's
4 or
tough.
5 times this year, but only once.
He just can't do the stuff his body could do even a year ago.
Because
he didn't
evolve. He didn't evolve the way that, like,
he hasn't evolved his game.
Michael Jordan, LeBron,
Vince Carter.
Vince Carter.
I say Vince Carter.
He's not doing it.
All these guys, Tracy McGrady, like, there's lots of guys that evolved their game over the course of time. He's like Gerald Wallace. Gerald Wallace was all athletics, and as soon as his athletics left, he was out of the league. Now, Russell's better than that, but like, you could see that his skill level is not there. Yeah, he tries that stupid bank shot that, like, he'll go off the top of the backboard for some reason. He has not been able to develop any kind of an outside shot. He can't shoot the free throws regularly. He can't. He turns it over way too much. Like, there's all this, and he could change his game, and many organizations asked him to, and they didn't. Also, but blame the Lakers too, because the Lakers, who was available as an assistant coach? It was Scotty Brooks, his coach in not only Washington but his coach in Oklahoma City, who seemed to have a connection with Russ. And the Lakers allowed themselves to be outbid by Portland, the major media market of Portland. So blame the Lakers for not doing what they need to do.
Blame the Lakers for trading for him in the first place. It was a horrible fit.
The Lakers are the most small market, big market team.
Exactly.
They're a poverty franchise.
I'm glad you said that too, man. Because outside of a lot of luck, the Lakers organization of the last 20 years has been an idiotic.
Look at how that whole Magic Johnson thing where he quit before he even told anyone. He quit, like, publicly.
Yeah, will not argue with you on that.
The coaching
the Grizzlies putting the bow on Pau Gasol and getting it to the Lakers saved that situation back then.
I keep telling you, we got Marc Gasol back, man. That was crazy.
Kobe was amazing. I mean, they've had some amazing players, but in terms of
my last
and LeBron coming in to make movies, like those two events saved that franchise from just being rubbish over the last 20 years.
My last piece to this Westbrook deal. Did you guys see him before the game, the pregame? He was warming up, and he tried to throw an alley-oop to himself off the backboard. He threw the ball over the goal.
Yeah, he ain't got
he threw it over the goal. Nobody's guarding him. Warm-ups, layup line, and the ball goes over the backboard.
That's where it is. All right, we'll come back. We'll wrap it up here on a very busy Tuesday edition. Nasty weather. Sports 56. Sports 56 and 98.5.
You have opinions?
Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad.
We want to hear them. Call or text us on the AutoZone listener line at 360-8255. That's the AutoZone listener line at 901-360-8255.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Hey, Gabe.
Hey, Beep couldn't be here, so I'm stepping in to sell some Central Barbecue.
Wait, what?
I am NKOTB at CCB.
Huh?
It means I'm the new kid on the block.
I know what it means. Are you saying you're happy to do a Central Barbecue commercial?
Super psyched. I love Central Barbecue.
Well, we all love Central Barbecue, Pete included, but he doesn't seem to enjoy doing Central Barbecue commercials.
Well, I do. I'm Pete 2.0.
What is happening?
Maybe we could come up with a new jingle for Central Barbecue.
Well, we got to get Pete back. This just feels weird.
Central Barbecue, yeah.
You've heard of James Gaddis Jewelers, but have you heard what they've done lately? Everything! A tremendous selection of diamonds and jewels, gold, silver, and much more. Lots of watches, tons of custom-made jewelry, fine gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, so many choices. Romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. James Gaddis has experts to help you with wedding and engagement rings, plus 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar.
Are you sick of your dead-end job? Do you crave a career with a better work-life balance, better lifestyle, or maybe you'd like to work from home? It's a new year. Time for a new career in IT. At My Computer Career, you could start your career in months, not years. Attend classes day or night, live online. And we've rolled back tuition to help meet the demand for IT workers. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. It's not rocket science, it's mycomputercareer.edu.
A good friend of mine told me about this awesome place for lunch.
Oh, yeah? What's the name?
Neil's Grill and Bar, where the fat man rocks. Everybody knows Neil.
Where's it located?
It's located in Yorkshire Square off of Quince.
And what's it like?
The best lunch place in Memphis. You know, like real mashed potatoes and gravy. Everything is made from scratch. Monday through Friday, daily lunch specials like Monday baked chicken, Italian Tuesday, spaghetti, ravioli, Italian spinach, delicious fried catfish, fried chicken livers every week. Wednesday, Friday, Salisbury steak, barbecue chicken, or if you just want a vegetable plate, the best veggies in town.
What about the lunch price?
Meat and 2 veggies, $7.95. Meat and 3 veggies, $9.99. And veggie plate, $8.95. Big fat boy portions, man.
Man, you're making me hungry.
Come hear the best live local music at Neil's. Eddie Smith plays Sundays 5 to 9, Mondays karaoke, Tuesdays Debbie Jameson, Wednesdays Elmo and the Shades, Thursdays John Williams and the A440 Band at Neil's.
Where the fat man rocks.
So you need to sell your house? I have the solution. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Any house, any area, as is. It's literally as simple as that. Just pick up your phone. Call 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Call my buddy Bill at I Buy Houses. Guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your house fast, call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's Bill at I Buy Houses.
Now, back to Sports 56 Grind Time. This hour is brought to you by Poultry Power. Here once again are Peter Edmiston and Anthony Sain.
It was an invite to you. Yeah.
Top Gun, baby. Take my breath away.
Peter, before we go too far, we talked about getting slimy with Steven Johnson.
We did. I learned a lot.
And there was a very slimy couple of segments we did on the whole Russell Westbrook thing. I just wanted to show you a token of my sliminess towards you.
I appreciate that.
If Darian's got that ready for him.
I was talking to Thug. He said, Uzi, I am proud of you. I said, Slime, I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you, Slime.
That's a rolly kid. I said, this is a rolly kid. I am a split story.
Smith, look how big this rollie is. Proud of you, Pete.
I said, Slime, I'm proud of you.
It's a beautiful
Slime, I'm proud of you.
Slime, I'm proud of you. I like how this works out.
Yeah, man, that's what it's all about, man. Just a very harmonious show today.
Harmonious?
Yeah, harmonious. Yeah, it is.
You didn't stick with the word of the week. Securitives, man. Securitives.
Yeah.
I like harmonious.
Harmonious is a securative way, superlative way to say, yeah. There you go.
Man,
I'm proud of you, Slime.
I want people to. It's real. I'm being real with folks. I want people to.
Yeah, man. We helping y'all out here, man.
I'm doing my best. I learned. It took me a long time to learn.
Yep. For real though, because I'm a block guy. Peter's a mute guy. But either way, man, we're putting lids on our buckets, man. We don't care.
Exactly right.
We don't care what people say. Come on now.
I'm not gonna let you affect me and my family. I'm just not going to. Shout out Deion Sanders, 2 toes amputated.
Woo! Which toes were amputated?
The last 2. So
he don't need those.
The first one, the second one, and the third one's still there. Also,
came on that tiptoeing down the sideline, half stepping.
Dak Prescott redid his contract as well as that bad man Aaron Rodgers. 4 years, $200 million. I don't think.
Allegedly. That's not confirmed. And in fact, Aaron Rodgers tweeted out and said those numbers are wrong.
Woo!
We'll find out.
Get your money right.
Amputation toes. Man.
He don't need them baby toes. For what?
I think you need them. I think they're important. I don't know.
Just stuff some tissue in the bottom of your shoe.
All right, well,
some tissue?
It's like Kerry Von Erich, man, the former wrestler. He got his whole foot amputated. He stuck a thing in his boot to fill it up. It's crazy.
What?
Yep, true story.
Dang.
I know, crazy. We got to get out of here. I see Brett. Gabe's coming in. Everybody, stay slimy. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bellyacre's motto is City-Fied Farm Fresh. The goal is simple: provide a fun, unique farm